All right, so I said we'd be going back to Nkandla if there are any last-minute developments, and indeed there has been a last-minute development. It seems an 11th-hour application to the Constitutional Court from Jacob Zuma's lawyers to keep him out of jail. Siphamandla Goge, good evening once again. I know you've read through those court papers, and it seems the criticism that he had applied to the wrong court when they were at the Pietermaritzburg High Court yesterday saying you need to stay the execution of his arrest. Maybe they listen because they've now made this application to the Constitutional Court. Tell us what's in it.
11th hour plea with the Constitutional Court by the former President of the Republic of South Africa, former President Jacob Zuma. These court papers, very brief, not too long, I think about 5 pages, but let me tell you that the most interesting aspect of it here is paragraph 3. Basically, the former president's legal team was criticized for going to the Pietermaritzburg High Court to argue their case, seeking an order to stay his pending arrest. Even Judge Mnguni yesterday asking the former president's legal team to say, but why are you lodging this application with this court? Do you want this lower court to overturn the decision and the judgment of the higher court? We know that according to the Constitutional Court, the former president was given 5 days to hand himself over to the police, or if he fails, police were given 3 days to arrest him. So now police are in the process of arresting him. I will just want to quote from these court papers here what I consider to be very interesting. So here they say, we therefore request that you issue a directive of which the execution of the committal orders or the committal orders of the Constitutional Court is suspended pending the outcome of the judgment on Friday, the 9th July. Alternatively, the outcome of the judgment to be heard by the Constitutional Court on the 12th, that is Monday. That is when the Constitutional Court will basically hear the former president's application to rescind its judgment there. So they want the Constitutional Court to order that he should not be arrested pending the outcome of the Pietermaritzburg High Court application, which is on Friday and on Monday by the Constitutional Court. We know now for a fact that the former President Jacob Zuma is aware that police will arrest him because his lawyers write in these court papers that the SAPS has indicated that it will be executing the orders in paragraph 3 and 4, that is the order to arrest him should he not hand himself over. So they say they are aware that police intend to do that by midnight tonight. So the former president's team is aware that police are en route to arrest him. So this 11th hour application or papers to the Constitutional Court, some people can say, well, out of time, really time has run out for him, but he has lodged this last-minute application or last-minute attempt with the Constitutional Court. Will it issue a directive that he not be arrested? We don't know for now.
Yeah, I wonder. And it's interesting in point 1, it says, you've issued directions that my client's application for rescission be heard on Monday the 12th. However, the directions do not indicate the status of the committal orders in paragraphs 4 and 5, pending the outcome. So basically saying, well, you've agreed to hear this, but you didn't say whether he has to go to prison in the meantime. I wonder what the Constitutional Court will make of that. And also, interestingly, they go on to throw back into this issue that it will be prejudicial to the life of our client to be imprisoned. And this is something, of course, we've heard all along, that the former president, too elderly, too ill to go to prison.
Indeed, they are bringing that point, that they are closing their papers here with that point, that it will be prejudice to the life of our client in the event that the judgment of the High Court ordering a suspension of the committal orders, alternatively the Constitutional Court rescinding its orders. So their application here is built, or their argument centers around the former president's health status as well as old age here. Simply put, they are saying, hold on for now. Please issue an order that he must not be arrested for now, pending the finalization of all these court processes, of which we know, by the way, that these are not appeals. So very little here has to do with what they are stressing in terms of these court processes. Basically, they are asking for mercy to say, you are the only ones now who can suspend your own order. The tricky question there is, they knew this all along. Why wait so late? Because even when they went to the High Court in Pietermaritzburg, they were criticized for that move. Even Judge Mnguni asking Advocate Mpofu to say, but shouldn't you be going back to the court that issued a judgment and these orders? And he was like, well, we are within our rights to come here too. You've got jurisdiction, you can hear the matter, and you can give an order to stay his pending arrest. But it seems as if they are realizing that it may have been a technical mistake to go to Pietermaritzburg. They should have gone to the Constitutional Court. Is time on their side? Definitely not. Less than 5 hours from now, the former president is likely going to be arrested.
I mean, I think we're kind of in uncharted legal territory here. But do you think it might be enough to stop the police in their tracks at this point?
The only thing that can stop the police in their track at this point is a clear order from a court of law which says we are staying the pending arrest. If there is nothing in black and white, if there is nothing issued by a court of law in South Africa, then I do not think, and I do not purport to know anything about the law, but I can tell you that in terms of how it works, if there is no clear court order saying his arrest should be put on hold for now, I doubt that there is so much or there is anything that the police can do to withdraw from their operation. The only thing that can make them to back off is a clear directive from a court of law. If that comes today, there's still a few hours to do that. But if it doesn't come by midnight, I guess the police will have to implement and execute that order that was given to them by the Constitutional Court.
Now, Siphamandla, obviously, I don't know when this letter was written to the Constitutional Court, but if it indeed has just come in the last couple of hours or so, or even in the last few moments, does it smack of a bit of a desperate last move to you?
It's dated 7 July 2021. We don't know what time it was filed to the Constitutional Court or at the Constitutional Court, but it's just emerged now, not so long ago it has emerged. Of course, it is the 11th hour attempt here. It seems to be the only alternative available. Perhaps one can say that former President Jacob Zuma's legal team was hoping that the police minister was not going to act on the court judgment. As to how they were hoping that was going to happen with a clear directive from the Court, I do not know. But they were hoping that the fact that the police minister wrote to the Constitutional Court, they're asking for a directive, they were hoping that maybe the Constitutional Court was going to accede to that and grant the police minister his wishes that he does not implement this court order pending the finalization of all the legal processes. Well, he has not received any response from the acting Chief Justice. So the onus was always going to be upon the lawyers of former President Jacob Zuma to write to the Constitutional Court. It's something that they should have done earlier. Only them know why they did not pursue that legal avenue when they lodged their application to rescind the judgment. What prevented them from lodging the very same application now to say, pending you hearing our application to rescind your judgment, please put on hold whatever pending arrest. And it is the last minute effort here to try and avoid jail. Will it work? Will it not work? We do not know.
Siphamandla, reflect for us, if you will, on the irony of this being addressed to the acting Chief Justice. We know the Chief Justice is on long leave, so the other justices in the Constitutional Court have been taking terms. And, of course, the acting Chief Justice at the moment is none other than Raymond Zondo, who heads up the State Capture Commission, the very commission he wants to avoid, the very judge he says is biased against him.
It's a difficult one for them. They did not have a choice. They had to write to the acting Chief Justice. So, unfortunately for them, it's Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo in this case. But I guess that is not the point, really. The point was to write to the Constitutional Court, to the acting Chief Justice, whether Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo will have to excuse himself in this regard. In fact, that's the question we did ask Advocate Dalimpo for a day or two here at Nkandla when he was part of that briefing by former President Jacob Zuma to say their application to the Constitutional Court to rescind its judgment. Of course, the person who is the acting Chief Justice there is Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. How are they going to navigate around that? He said we will cross that bridge when we get to it. So I guess even in this case, their preoccupation now, their main main agenda here, and the aim is to ensure that they get this order putting on hold the pending arrest. I don't think they are concerned about who is the acting Chief Justice, because for them the only thing they need is an order which says for now the former president should not be arrested. Whether that will be granted by Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, they really want that for now. So as to the acting Chief Justice, it's something that they will have to deal with later on.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for that update. Much appreciated. Siphamandla Goge, who is in Nkandla this evening. Last-minute attempts to keep the former president out of jail. Appeals now being mailed to the Constitutional Court. We will, of course, be bringing you more on that story as it develops this evening. We have a number of reporters keeping a close eye.